Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining today and showing interest in the Fintech and Insurtech startups with Plug and Play. My name is Todd Schweitzer. I'm with Brankas. I'm the CPO and co-founder. Headquartered in Indonesia, and operationally we're focused on Indonesia. So let's take a trip into the payments landscape across Southeast Asia. Okay, so forget the way of doing business in Singapore or in the US. Direct bank transfer is how Southeast Asians pay online. So in Indonesia, in Philippines, in Vietnam, and Thailand, more than 80% of e-commerce transaction volume is customers transferring from their bank account to the merchant's bank account. All right, so when you talk about e-commerce payments, you are talking about how customers pay by bank transfer, right? This can be depositing at an ATM and then taking a screenshot of your receipt and sending it to the merchant. It can be the merchant paying expensive virtual account fees or a number of other hacks that are quite inefficient and expensive. So that's what Brankas is addressing today. So managing bank transfers, we need to remember it's a bad experience both for the customer side and for the merchant side. So let's walk through this. The customer will select items on an e-commerce site. They're going to select bank transfer to check out. The seller then pushes their account info. Then the customer needs to go to an ATM or walk into a bank branch, deposit the cash, come back to the customer's site, okay, enter some sort of confirmation. Then the merchant needs to actually verify that the transaction has been made. And this is happening hundreds of thousands of times every hour in Indonesia, right? And then the company staff needs to manually check each transaction to make sure it's confirmed. I've been to e-commerce companies in Jakarta where they have a staff of 15 new college grads whose job it is to hit refresh on online banking and match each deposit to each order. This is absolutely broken, and it's a problem that's all across Southeast Asia, and that's what Brankas is aiming to solve. In addition to this broken process of reconciliation, there's a huge drop-off in conversion. So 50% of bank transfer payments across e-commerce in Indonesia are never completed. The customer checks out and then disappears because they have to leave the ecosystem of the merchant app. Okay, but there are other solutions, right? What about virtual accounts? What about e-wallets? What about credit cards? Credit card penetration, less than 5% in Indonesia and Philippines, so forget about it, right? E-wallets, low balances, they're still intermediating the transaction, so they're charging merchants pretty high fees. And it's not, there's plenty of friction still. It's several years off to really be adopted in e-commerce. And virtual accounts are expensive for the merchant, anywhere from 3 to 8% of the transaction fee. It's not a good value for the merchant. So what does Brankas do? Brankas makes it easy for e-commerce companies and insurers who want a direct channel to their customers to manage bank transfers. We automate payment matching by bank transfer. We increase conversion by providing an SDK inside your web or mobile app to complete payment. And we can help you disperse funds to settle with your vendors or your drivers or anyone else. All based for an easy-based subscription that's 80% cheaper than the alternative. I will skip through this for the sake of time. So you can imagine in the past, if you have a mobile app for e-commerce or for selling insurance products, in the past your customer would have to send some confirmation of their payment. We provide an SDK so that they can complete payment inside the app using the means of payment that they prefer, which is bank transfer. So in the future, the customer can choose their items. Powered by Brankas, they can instantly pay with bank transfer. Payment and order are instantly matched on the merchant side. Account activity is tracked real time on a dashboard where you can see all of you the merchant, all your bank accounts in one place. And if you need to disperse to your vendors at the end of the day, we can provide the tools to do that. Fully documented APIs available for testing now. You can go to our site and check it out. Big picture for a second, okay? We're helping companies manage payments much more easily because we want to help companies meet customers where they are today. We're helping banks. So we're partnered with one of Indonesia's largest banks to actually build out 55 payment APIs for them. And eventually we want to help consumers with a mobile app as well. So I'd like to think that Brankas is leading the way in creating an open banking infrastructure for Southeast Asia. We have the right team to do it. I've worked across Southeast Asia in consulting, investing, and mobile software. My co-founder and CTO, Ken, is the co-founder of Multiply.com, managing 45 million accounts. He's a payments expert. We have a technical team from Google, from TIC, and several other companies. We'd love to share more about how we can work with your companies. So I'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much.